Morning everybody, how is everyone? Now it's been a couple of weeks since I've made a video. It's also been a couple of weeks that I've actually done any work on the plot. Although we've been over and done some watering, the weeds have sort of taken over. So we've been over here since about 5:30 this morning, just to try and get on top of things. I did actually manage to cut the grass in the week, although it don't look like it now. But weeding, it had to be done. I've gone through all this side, the onion bed, and all the brassica area is now completely weed free. Potatoes doing fine, one dying off over the back, but apart from that they're doing pretty well. Now the onions, on the other hand, I think I may have the same problem as a lot of people up and down the country's getting, which is, apart from the bolting, which you can see over the back there, and I've got another one up here on the red onions that's bolted. Allium leaf miner, where they all sort of go curly whirly, so to speak. There's an example here. But I'm not entirely sure if it is, because I would have thought if it's gonna attack one, it'll attack the one next door. And the one next to this seems to be okay. And to be honest, there just seems to be a few like this dotted around the bed. So hopefully it may be just a dodgy batch of sets. But I'm going to leave them in. They seem to be quite happy where they are. So yeah, managed to get all that weeded. Now up in the brassica area, not so much, not the ones in the cage, but all the brassicas along the outside of the cage, I forgot to net. I didn't get round to netting, and they got stripped right down to the stalks. But I left them, covered them over, and they seem to have survived. There's lots of water, and they seem to have sprung back to life again. So it just goes to prove that even though you think you've lost them, leaving them that little bit longer and a little bit more care can pay off. Blackberry bush, we put a couple of stakes in there this morning because these were all trailing on the floor. So we get them off the floor, we've just tied them in. Also just let a bit of air flow through the bottom. We've got a little bed here. Not sure what I'm going to do. I may put some carrots in there actually, which I think I may have to. And the reason for that I'll show you in a minute. These ones again all stripped, but they've come back to life. Moving around into the cage, we've had a good weed in here, and they are looking really regimental. I'm so pleased with them, although I have missed a weed. There's always one that sort of escapes you. Anyway, that's where we're at the moment on that side. Depending how the time goes today, I may try and tackle this, because I've still got stuff in the hut itching to get out, and that is where it's going to go if I've got time. Now on this side, we haven't done much along here at all, although it's not that bad. The peas are starting to die back. I need to get these peas off and get them home, or try and get most of them home. Sweet corn doing very well. Little squashes are nice and dark green, as opposed to last year where they were quite yellow at this stage. So they look quite healthy. Got a little bit of weeding to do in there. Again, over here, I need to stake these tomatoes up and get these sorted out and get them little side shoots out, a bit more corn. But what we have started doing this morning is this. And I'm very surprised that anything will grow in here. Although saying that, the beetroot did like it. The carrots, well, a few and far between. But we may get some. We seem to be getting more that end of the run than we are this end, but time will tell as we move our way back there. The leek's going to come out now, they're finished and done. So I'm going to go and grab myself my cup of coffee and I'm going to carry on my hands and knees trying to find what I've got in here. I'll be back in a bit. Well, 2 hours later, I've managed to get it all weeded. And to be honest, I'm quite surprised. Surprised that we've got as many carrots as we have, although some are small. And even more surprised at the parsnips up the back, which I really didn't think I was going to get any at all. But they are a little bit randomly placed, a lot of non-germination in there. But every row of parsnip, carrot and beetroot I've put in, I've got something. Albeit not a lot, but something's better than nothing. So we give them a little water with a fine rose, just to try and dampen the soil down so it sinks back in where I may have disturbed some of the roots. We've got our stakes in for the tomatoes now. They're all right at the moment. I'll probably do them tomorrow when I come over, tie them in. They seem to be fine. So, all right, I think it's time for a little break from the weeding and start putting some of these in. Now here we got some French beans. I'll say the number, and then when I get home to edit the video, I'll put what it is down below, because I forgot to bring the sheet with me. So these are 106. And we got 4 of these. It's the last 4 we got, so we need to get a few more sown at home. And they'll sit in there quite nicely. I'll stick a label in there so we know. I have lost a lot of the plants that are in the hut through slug damage, but I still have a lot to go in. Mainly all my squashes, courgettes, and I think I've got a few pumpkins in there as well. No, that's a bit hard. I need my trowel. There we go. That's better. Yeah, these should have gone in a while back. They've already started flowering, so I'm a little bit late with a lot of them at the moment. But there is still plenty of time, they should be all right. Go. Another little job done. Now, a couple of videos ago, I was in two minds what to put in here in between the parsnips. And I was going to try some radishes. Now, someone left a comment that said you could put beetroot in between them. So what I'm going to do a row of each. Now, little baby beetroots, Detroit 2, down one side. Now, me and my luck with radishes, as we all know, is not good. So I've gone for this seed tape. Now these are little cherry radishes, little ones, which would be ideal for in between here. And there's 6 meters in here. And we're just going to break that off. Now I've never used, or tell a lie, I have tried them once. I think it was carrots, I think. And they failed miserably. So I think what we'll do, we'll put the radishes in here, this side. And I must admit, they are very well spaced. So I shouldn't have to do any thinning. Let's put that there so it don't blow away. Lay that in between. That's it, cover that over. We'll give that a good drink. And see what we get with that. Right, I'll crack on with the beetroot. Right, I think I'm going to cut this one short because it's getting very, very hot out there now. It's in between, it's about 29.5. So it's a little bit too hot, and I think I've been out in it quite long enough. So, I mean, it hasn't been a waste of time today. I've got 3 beds weeded, some nice surprises with the carrots and parsnips, which I didn't think I was going to get any of. We got a little bit in, still got quite a bit to plant out, but I'll give it a little water before we go. It's in the shade, so they should be all right. Now the peas, we picked all the peas from down the end, although I don't know how many of them are going to be viable for eating, but at least we get some seed for next year. Now the garlic that I took up about 2 weeks ago, I left over here and totally forgot. Now I was thinking when I took it up that it had rot on the bottom. But once I'd left them to dry for a couple of weeks, I found that when you rub off the outer skin, they're perfectly fine inside. So that's a little bonus for me. And we've got our leeks up as well. Even though they're bolted, there's still quite a bit of flesh around the outside. So all good for a meal or two. So like I say, just a little update what's been going on. I'm going to try and get back over in the week, finish the other bed. I didn't do the pea bed. I didn't get around to weeding that. So I'll try and pop over in a week and do that. So yeah, till next time, take care everyone, happy gardening, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye for now.